Well, the Detroit Lions have officially fired offensive coordinator John Morton after just one season. And I can't say I'm surprised. I can't imagine anybody is surprised, frankly. But yeah, they hired Morton last offseason to replace Ben Johnson when Ben Johnson took that coaching job at Chicago. Obviously, everyone is aware of that. And now they have gone their separate ways. When Morton was brought in, he was supposed to be the next chapter, a fresh voice to keep Detroit's offense humming, if you will. But I've watched the games. I'm sure you all that are listening have watched the games. It didn't look like that. It didn't look like it to me. It didn't look like anything quite ever clicked the way that this coaching staff or fan base expected. And I'm talking about multiple key players that just didn't get utilized. And I've talked about this previously, but Jameson Williams, David Montgomery, I mean, these are impact players. Now, this is not to, downgrade St. Brown or Gibbs or anything like that, but guys, you got superstars on your team, you're not even using them. And I mean, let's not mince words here. I mean, the season sucks. It sucked. They finished 9-8. Missed the playoffs. I mean, we had Super Bowl expectations, did we not? You bring a guy in with the momentum that this team had, and you don't even use your impact players, and multiple calls on the field, were questionable. I mean, it's no surprise that ultimately the team decided to move on. I think it really started to unfold around halfway through the season. I think it was that November game when they lost 27-24 to Minnesota, and that dropped Detroit to 5-3 because shortly after that, Campbell stripped Morton of play calling duties and said, "I'm calling the plays now." And if that isn't a clearer sign that, hey, by the way, I'm going to do your job for you now, I don't know what else is. I mean, the guy literally took away the headset midseason. That tells me that Dan Campbell didn't have any confidence in him. And let's be honest about the performance. I mean, on paper, this offense still looked good. They finished 5th in total offense, tied for 4th in scoring in the league, in the entire NFL, and didn't make the playoffs. 3rd in passing and maintained some pop with players like Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs making plays. I mean, the magic was still there. The impact was still there. But the deeper story, man, the deeper story, and I know we all saw it because I saw it. The inconsistent execution, the questionable play calls, especially in the running game and in clutch situations. I mean, that particular game against Minnesota, I was there. That game sputtered for long stretches. You couldn't shake the feeling that the offensive identity was muddled. Jared Goff didn't look good. I mean, more than overall yardage, it's the inconsistency that ultimately got John Morton fired, in my opinion. And on top of that, you got to factor in expectations. I mean, he came in after the guy, right? Ben Johnson. I mean, look how he's doing in Chicago, right? You're the guy after the guy. And everybody says you never want to be the guy after the guy. You want to be the guy after the guy after the guy. And so, this team came into the season, into the 25-26 season, thinking Super Bowl and not let's squeak in if we're in with a wild card. That was not the expectations. I mean, how many of you at the start of the season was like, yeah, okay, if we can just kind of eke our way in, to the wild card? No. I mean, literally at this point, the standard for the Lions and the Lions fans, and in terms of expectations, is championship or bust. A 9-8 season without a postseason trip, not going to cut it. And I don't care how pretty the stats are. I don't care how pretty the offense rankings look on paper. You can save all that. You could just wad it up and throw it out in the trash because we don't care. We do not care. So offensively, which is this man's job, it kind of sort of splits like this. Morton calling the plays early. Lions were somewhat competitive, but not truly dominant. Campbell takes over. They had flashes, including that big 44-22 win over Washington, but also stagnation. Injuries, line issues cropped up, however you want to say it. And that's for another segment, because frankly, they got to have more depth. Every team gets injuries. Every team. The Lions can't afford to continue having a key position get knocked out and they go, oh, well, I guess we're just done. It just doesn't work. And so now that Morton is gone, the bigger question comes. Who's it going to be? Who's next? And who's going to call the plays? Because as much as I like Dan Campbell, as much as I think he's a good guy and a good leader, I don't really want him calling the plays next season. As a matter of fact, I would like the next offensive coordinator to start kicking some field goals when it's 4th and 5 and we're on I don't care if we're on the 10-yard line, the 20, just start kicking the field goals, dude. I have a ton of respect for you. I love the drive. I get it. You want to win. I understand. But start taking the points. So who's it going to be? It's too early to say. David Blau's name has already come up as a candidate. I mean, he's a little bit young in his coaching career. I'm not sure if he's fit for that role. But, you know, we also need to talk about the culture for a second, because midseason demotion, then firing after the season ends, I mean, that tells you a couple things about how the staff views accountability. Okay. They were not happy, obviously, with how the offense finished. They weren't happy with growth. And they weren't willing to just ride it out next year, hoping to fix it themselves. I mean, John Morton's resume is long. He's coached a ton of places, worked with Sean Payton and other notable names, and even returned to Detroit from Denver before this job. But this particular gig just didn't work out. And, you know, it's some of these other things that you start to question, you start to wonder. Sometimes the coaching fits. Sometimes it doesn't. This one clearly didn't. So depending on who it is, you hope the next guy's the guy, but maybe it isn't. Either way, this season is over. They missed the postseason. We can look on to the next year and open a new chapter. You know, so Detroit is officially in the market for new offensive coordinator with the goal of fixing what went sideways and getting back to contender level performance, because that's where the work really starts. I think next year, I want to see a good offense, obviously, but a cohesive one too. Stats aren't going to be enough for me. That's not going to be enough for me. Expectation versus execution. Lions fans didn't see the kind of reliability that a team with championship aspiration needs. And that's why John Morton's tenure as OC lasted one season. This is Detroit football. You win, you adjust, and you demand excellence. That's where we are today. And with the coaching change now official, hopefully that's exactly what the Lions give us and move forward.